Vehicular Entertainment. Test Miles with Nick Miles.
It's Sunday morning at 10 a.m., and that means that your radio is going to be taken over by a room full of guys who like cars. And we're all here. Welcome to Test Miles. It's our weekly car entertainment show, and we will be talking about cars for the next hour. And you will be excited about what we have to talk about. Joining me in the studio is the regular coup, Andrew, our producer. Good morning.
Good morning, Portland!
Whoa, Starbucks obviously is out of coffee this morning because you've drunk it all.
So many vintage.
Sean's here.
Good morning, everyone.
And Brad, our senior car guy.
Senior car guy.
Yeah,
I am here. I got to take the senior adult lane here.
All right, I'm fresh back from Detroit, and Car and Truck of the Year was announced. All those vehicles unveiled at the Detroit Auto Show, which we know the Detroit Auto Show is actually just the warm-up act for the Portland Auto Show, which comes around halfway through the first week of February, 6th through the 9th. So you have all those days to go and enjoy fabulous cars in Portland.
I think once you're there, you're going to want to go multiple days.
Detroit, here's a couple things about it. First of all, I love Detroit. It's pretty close to being my favorite city in America, post-Portland.
Top three?
Yeah, it's definitely in the top three.
It's because you can get a house for $100,000 there.
Well, you can get a house a lot cheaper than that in Detroit. The things I love about Detroit, especially this year, the weather was above freezing. It was like 34 degrees. Amazing, because normally I get to Detroit and it's like in fact, the week before, with the wind chill factor, it was minus 40 degrees.
What?
Minus 40 degrees with the wind chill factor the week before I went, and it was 34 degrees when I got there. So if you work that out, it was actually almost 70 degrees warmer the following week, which is unbelievably crazy. But it was a nice temperature. There was snow on the ground, but very little. And so that makes Detroit worthwhile. Of course, the other thing that makes it worthwhile, everybody in that city can sit around with me and talk about cars for hours and hours and hours. Even when you go to parties and you go to launches, and it's all car talk. And so I'm happy.
It's been about 10 years since I've been to Detroit. What I noticed back then, just the absence of like foreign cars. It was almost all domestics running around. Has that changed dramatically?
It's changed, but no, I wouldn't say crazily. I mean, you've got to remember the big three automakers are there: General Motors, Chrysler, the Chrysler Group, and the Ford. They're all there. So a good majority of the city is an employee of one of those three or has family members that are employee, and that usually means employee discounting, which means that you don't buy. You buy the cars that are made in that city. There's a lot of other cars that are non-American that are actually made in the United States, but it's majority of the cars. I would say it's strong.
Do they have, since Detroit's broke, are they utilizing their resources? So are they using like here in Portland we have a budget for art in the city, or do they have like the doorway to City Hall is like a motor, like a training to get?
What they do is they give a couple of kids spray cans. That's it, and they go decorate the city.
Wouldn't that be cool to get into City Hall? You had to put it in neutral, and then you could get in the door.
There's so many jokes there that I would probably get taken off the air for. It depends. Clearly, only certain people would still be in line trying to get it into neutral.
Detroit, I know you're listening. Let's go ahead and put a gear shift on the main hall door so we can get in.
City Hall, you have to put into neutral.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting idea. I was there. I arrived on Friday afternoon and rolled into town. Spent Saturday sort of wandering around watching them construct the auto show. That's a pretty amazing thing. They have an empty room, and these crews come in and build multi-million-dollar booths, and they are amazing. And just to give you an example of some of these booths, the Ford booth has a TV screen, which is probably about 30 feet high and about 150 yards long. I mean, it is amazing.
I think that would take the Detroit Lions like 10 possessions to get that far.
It's absolutely unbelievable. So there is some amazing technology just in the displays. It's not quite up to Portland standard, but it is absolutely amazing. And then, of course, all these cars are unveiled throughout the day. About every 40 minutes, they have a press conference, and all these journalists, 5,000 journalists from 62 countries, move from booth to booth. And this hall is enormous. And one of the funny things about it is the train, the people mover, they call it, subway train, runs right underneath the hall. So every 4 minutes, it's like, and then you hear the brakes go, whee!
I think that's just the old journalists with their knees and
Yeah.
things. I don't think that has anything to do with the people mover.
It's funny, and the people mover is like 3 feet below the hall, and the whole hall shakes every time it comes through, and it's kind of an interesting experience. Anyway, the cars are released. They did announce the North American Car and Truck of the Year. I got it wrong.
Who got it right?
Sean did, but Sean's going to vote for Corvette every time.
True.
Even if Corvette wasn't an option, he'd still vote Corvette.
Well, yeah,
Corvette.
of course I'm going to choose the Corvette, but I knew the Silverado was going to win the Truck of the
Right.
Year.
I mean, I think everybody knew the Silverado was. So the winners were the Chevrolet Stingray, Corvette Stingray, and the Chevrolet Silverado with this is the Truck of the Year. And I don't know if I agree with that. I think the CTS might have been a better choice.
I want to recount.
Yeah, we could go into this for hours and hours and hours, but we will talk a little bit more about those because Jeff Fishbag is going to join us in the next segment of the show and talk about those cars being in Portland, and we're going to see if we can get them in Portland for the Portland Auto Show starting on the 6th of February. But there was lots of other cars introduced. We'll talk about it, but if you want to see it, you can go to testmiles.com. It's the Stinger GT4 concept car, which Kia rolled out. 315 horsepower, 2-liter turbo engine. Incredible hood vents. It's a 2+2 sports car and it has 20-inch wheels. For a sports car, I have to tell you that my SUV has 20-inch wheels. So it's kind of interesting to see a sports car with 20-inch wheels. I love the color of this. It looks absolutely amazing, and I hope to God, I'm praying that they make this car because it's beautiful.
I love the car. I agree with you. I can't wait to and hope to God they make it.
It looks very futuristic on the inside. If you take a look at it on the inside, it's very spaceship-esque with lots of LED backlights and I guess you'd call them interior. What do we call those kind of lights?
Track lights or
Yeah, but it's like the sort of the backlight. So under the seats and in the door jams and all that. So everything's lit.
So on a concept car, some people may not exactly understand the nature of that. So when a manufacturer makes a concept car, they come out with like everything that they want to necessarily do on it. How much of that generally makes it to a production
Well,
vehicle?
sometimes they never make it to a production vehicle. The interesting thing about concept cars, they are the artist's impression. A lot of them legally can't be made because they don't meet safety and engineering standards. And they do things on the cars which just aren't cost effective. I'll give you an example. I saw a concept car at Detroit where you've seen these cars with the signals embedded in the side mirrors. Well, they had LED lights in the side mirror, and when you made the signal, they lit up in sequence. So it was like blip, 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 as you signaled, blip, 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 across the mirror. It was amazing. I really want them to make it, but they're saying it's just way too expensive, so they wouldn't do it. Plus, it probably doesn't meet the safety standards that the U.S. government require those cars. But this
Even
is,
though you
I-
could see it better.
Yes, absolutely, you could see it better. Plus, you would know where the car's turning because the light would go towards the direction they're turning.
Assuming it's not a Portland driver.
Are you saying Portland drivers are bad?
They would turn their turn signal
Have you
on
driven
for
in
right.
Miami ever?
No.
Portland drivers are like gods compared to those people that drive in Miami, I promise you. And so a lot of the times these concepts, they bring forward ideas to allow people to actually manufacture cars. All right, other cars that we saw in Detroit include the BMW 2 Series. Interesting, it's replacing the 1 Series. A small premium vehicle. Starts around $33,000, but if you want the M version, that's going to cost you $44,000.
It's the only one to get.
Yeah, the 44. A new BMW M3, M4, that was kind of fun. There was a new Hyundai Genesis. Some concepts. This is an interesting one. We'll talk about this quickly. We're almost out of time for this segment, but the concept called the IDX from Nissan is the future of cars. What happens is the youth are born after 1990, and they call them digital natives. This car is designed for them. You basically design everything on the car yourself. You go in there and choose the panels on the side, the style of the doors, the windows, the colors, the kind of seats, the kind of steering wheel, the kind of gauges. You design everything yourself. You send it, you buy it, you send it to the factory, they build it for you, and then ship it. So you can have anything you want, not just the color and the wheels types, but you choose everything on the car that you want. It's an absolutely amazing technology. Go and check it out. It's called the Nissan IDX concept. You choose the headlights. You choose everything yourself.
I'd
Kinda cool.
get the unicorn version with the big horn on the hood.
All right, clearly time to take a break because Andy needs some more coffee. You're listening to Test Miles on FM News 101. Check us out online at testmiles.com. We will be back with more car entertainment.
This is Test Miles with automotive expert Nick Miles. Vehicular entertainment. Test Miles with Nick Miles.
Welcome to our test drive today of the 2014 Volkswagen Touareg. I don't actually know what any of Touareg means. It's Volkswagen have a very interesting naming system where they name their vehicles after small African villages.
Oh yeah, in West Africa, hey, go east of Touareg.
Touareg, so it is the largest Volkswagen available, the SUV, a full-size, mid to full-size SUV, and this particular one we're driving is a turbo diesel direct injected vehicle.
That sounds extremely intimidating. That has so many facts. Turbo diesel injected fuel economy liner go fast.
But with the turbo involved, it has a little bit of turbo lag, so you put your foot down and it takes a few seconds to kick in, but then when it kicks in, it goes nice and fast. Now, this particular 2014, although it costs $51,000, sigh and gasps from the audience.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's worth every penny because I would be the owner of this. The fact that it's diesel really makes me happy because it does get around, I think I was getting around 28 when I first got it, but my foot got a bit leader as we continued the driving, and I'm down to 24.7 miles a gallon. But if this was gasoline, I'd be somewhere in the high teens range. So you can save around 30%. It depends how you drive, but you can save 30 to 40% in fuel economy by driving a diesel.
I plead the fifth on the price. I will not go into my boisterous opinion on that. However, I still think it's a quality rig. I'd buy it in a heartbeat if it wasn't $51,000. They got my money if it make it feel a little bit better. If it was like $49.99 like that, I'd be okay with that. Like the 51 bugs me.
One thing about this car that bugs me a little bit is the fact that it has a key which you can put in and start like a normal vehicle, but then it also has a push button start.
No, Volkswagen, you do not get to have your cake and eat it too.
Right. I'm a bit confused by that. So you can put the key fob in and turn it like a key and it starts, or you push the button. But you can't put the key in and then push the button. Doesn't work.
No, that's how life works. You put the key in, then the button.
No, you got to either turn the key or push the button. You can't do both.
Right.
However, I will tell you that I love the way it drives. I love the way it handles. It's very clean, very smooth. And I know this competes very heavily with Land Rover in the off-road courses. They put the Land Rover and this together on sand, on mud, and in snow. And the Touareg is one of the only vehicles that can compete directly with what Land Rover does. That's our review of the 2014 Volkswagen Touareg. We will now return you to the safety of the studio. Well, back in the studio, by the way, if you want to hear any of the test drives that we do on our vehicles, you can do that at testmiles.com, and there you can see all the cars from the Detroit Auto Show and snippets of good things from the Portland Auto Show. There is a sneak peek party coming up at the launch of the Portland Auto Show, and we have information and tickets available on testmiles.com and also the charities that benefit. And to tell us a little bit more about that and the Portland International Auto Show of fabulousness is the king of cars himself. Jeff Fishback is here. Jeff?
Yay!
Wow, a round of applause. That's fantastic. I'm glad to be here.
So let's see if you get a round of applause when you're done. We'll see if that's any good. Jeff, you have this party coming up to launch the Portland Auto Show called Sneak Peek. Fill us in on all the details.
All the details. The details are phenomenal. I'll start with the charities. We have 4 charities this year. The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation, the Providence Portland Medical Foundation, Meals on Wheels Portland, and Boys and Girls Club Portland. It's nice to have that collection of charities with us, and all 4 of those charities have a great connection with our local dealers as well.
And so they are going to benefit from the ticket sales to this event. Now tell us when the event is, where it is, how you get tickets, and what it is.
When it is, it's February 5th, and it starts at 6:30 to 9:30, and the location is the Portland International Auto Show at the Oregon Convention Center.
And if you want to go to this event, what will you experience?
Cocktails, cars, and carousing. We try to put it into 3 acronyms that I think describe the event very, very well. But we have cocktails. We have local breweries bringing in their beer. We've got wine. It's an open bar. The tickets are $100 a piece, with $100 of the ticket costs going right back to the charities.
Did you notice when you said open bar that every single guy in the studio looked at you?
Yeah, my neck hurt. I almost broke
I was
my
going
neck.
to say, everybody kind of looked over and said, is the party start tonight, or when is that?
Yeah,
It's
that
February
sounds-
5th, right? I have to wait 3 weeks?
That's awesome. That sounds like a great deal. And the charities that you're going to are phenomenal.
The show is absolutely a capacity. We have grown leaps and bounds even over 2013, which was a record-setting show as well. But 2014, we've expanded so far. Now we have 2 luxury lofts. So when you talk exotic, you talk luxury, the Portland Auto Show will be the place to find those vehicles.
Now, the big question is, just recently in Detroit, they named the car and truck of the year. What's the chances of seeing them at the Portland show?
That's a pretty bold step for Portland to bring those type of vehicles over here. I'm going to say with great confidence those vehicles will be here.
Yes.
They will be on display.
Yeah.
And in addition to those, we have quite a plethora of vehicles that will complement those 2 vehicles.
And what's a plethora?
I'm going to say a plethora is in that dozen column. That these are vehicles
all
that
right.
you are seeing debuted in Portland this year.
All right, let me ask you. I'm gonna randomly pick some of the best cars of the show. The 2015 Ford Mustang, will that be there?
The prototype one?
Yeah, the one that they just sort of that was has never been shown on the West Coast, but was shown in LA and Detroit last year, and then just now on the auto show.
It will be debuted at the Portland International Auto Show, guaranteed.
Yes.
All right. What about what else did they roll out in Detroit? They showed the new Chrysler 200. Will that be there?
Absolutely. And if you guys haven't seen that car, you need to see that car. It'll be debuted at Portland. Unbelievable.
All right. Let me ask you this: Can you get us the Ford F-150,
The aluminum frame?
the one that was just revealed in Detroit?
Boy, you're asking a lot. I
Yeah,
mean, you
is
got to
it gonna
remember,
be
we
there?
are Portland.
Yeah,
But
we're better
I'm-
than everywhere else, by the way. if you didn't know that.
absolutely. We talk big shows. Now we're talking the right show, Portland. And yes, the Ford F-150 aluminum
No
frame will
way.
be here.
Hot dog.
That was just announced in Detroit. All right.
No, we're not doing hot dogs.
Oh,
what? Well, I
that would
mean-
be a great idea. Hot dogs out of the F-150. Yes.
hot dog sushi.
Now, yep.
Now you're talking.
Heck yeah. And the F-150 makes it in the glove compartment.
Oh,
When you shut the glove compartment and it wraps the roll up, you can have that Ford.
all right. You just give him that idea
Yeah,
to
you-
Ford
you
right
can
there.
have
Where
that.
do you go from there? It's like a glove box microwave?
Oh,
I'm
he
not
has
sure.
a list. When we drive down
Oh,
here, he
it's the
sits in the passenger
indie
seat
list.
and he makes lists of things he wants cars to be able to do.
Yeah, and I'm gonna at the end of by the time I'm able to drive, I'm determined to have my car that will do my laundry, cooking, cleaning, and rub my feet.
All right.
I think they call that a motorhome.
Yeah. Clearly, it's never going to be able to drive. You're listening to Test Miles. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is Test Miles with automotive expert Nick Miles. Vehicular Entertainment. Test Miles with Nick Miles.
Well, welcome back to Test Miles. In our studio is the regular crew, Andrew, Sean, Brad, and joining us this week in the studio, Jeff Fishback from the Portland Metro New Car Dealers Association. It's only taken me 4 weeks to get that right, the name?
Only 4? I think it's like 4 years.
4 years, right. 4 years, that's what it is.
Just saying.
You are the Commandant and Director General of the Portland International Auto Show, and we're talking about the auto show that starts February 6th at the Oregon Convention Center, and there are a list of pretty amazing vehicles. I just want to visit with a couple of those vehicles, which we didn't get to on the list. I understand that Subaru is going to have quite a presence at this year's show. They're going to bring some of their new vehicles, right?
They are, and actually they're bringing one of their biggest display kits as well. So not only will it be a great lineup of vehicles, but their actual exhibit, that will be a sight to be seen as well. But they have spread news today. They are bringing the STI.
No, that's good, and I'm hoping too. That includes the WRX as well, which is sort of the smaller brother to the STI.
Right.
That vehicle, pretty outstanding. Saw it in Detroit. First of all, Subaru have had 5 years of growth, and that is outstanding as it is. In the Northwest, they are one of those entrenched car companies. If you ever go up to Mount Hood skiing, it's every fourth car is not a Subaru. That's how it is in the parking lot up at Mount Hood when you go skiing. 305 horsepower, the best power to weight ratio they've ever done. It's a 4-door. It has a wider body. They're saying it will perform like their sports car, which is the BRZ.
Right.
They're expecting this WRX to perform the same way. It has a new treatment on the inside. Subaru's insides have always been a little bit. I want to put this politically correct, but
Stark?
I think Stark's a little bit too much of a heavyweight. They've always been a little bit utilitarian, but apparently now they're flushing them out with lots of extras, tech and luxury appointments. I would say April is when that vehicle is going to be available, the WRX STI, and that's quite cool. That's quite exciting.
You know what's also exciting about Subaru, and Andy might like this one. It's a little green, which speaks a little Subaru. Can you say hybrid Subaru?
Hybrid Subaru.
So they're bringing the hybrid as well.
They are.
That's actually excellent. I think that's the highest mile per gallon all-wheel drive hybrid in its class.
You are correct.
Excellent. And of course, they have the Boxer engine. Does anyone know why the Boxer engine's important?
Me.
All right. Go.
Because it's fast.
No.
Well, that is fast.
It's fast, but that's not why it's important.
Okay, me again.
Okay.
All of the attachments fit because it's the same.
attachments.
It's all the same company, so they don't have to use new proprietary molds and folds.
No. One more time.
Me.
Go.
It's really important because Porsche is determined, and the other company is determined to have quality products, and you only get that out of a Porsche engine.
I'm not sure what you just said over the last 2 minutes.
We're talking about Subaru, not Porsche.
I know, but he has the Boxer engine.
No, it's not the Boxster, it's the Boxer.
Oh, like the
Or is
dog?
it not
Like
it's
a
not,
boxer lunch.
Yeah.
Oh.
So here's the deal. This is where it's interesting because the pistons are actually on their side.
Yeah,
And that
that's what I said.
That means everyone's looking at you like you're crazy.
Not sure if that's what I heard.
The pistons are on their side, which means they're low in the engine, which means the engine has a low center of gravity. So when it corners, it's very stable. So you can, like you guys didn't know that.
Yeah, come on, guys. This is an auto show.
Hands up, everyone in the room that doesn't have a driver's license.
Now, come on, that's just me.
See how you can't win these ones. Anyway, back to Jeff and important things. So the Subaru is going to be there. They're going to have a very up-to-date display. Tell us a couple of other things. You have some sort of green area, don't you, at the show? The Clean Tech Center, I believe it's called.
We do. It's in the previous 3 years. It's always been called the Eco Center, and obviously that side of the auto show is near to everyone's heart here in Portland. And we decided, you know what, we're going to take another leap and redesign it, rebrand it, refocus it, and really looking at clean technology, but how it embraces all of the alternative fuels that are in the marketplace right now. We've got CNG. This year, actually, I just received a text before we got in the studio today that Toyota is bringing their hydrogen fuel cell car.
Whoa. Into the show?
To the clean technology portion of the auto show.
That's is that the only one? Because we've talked about hydrogen on the show, but I don't think there's another hydrogen vehicle coming, is there?
There is not. Toyota's going to have an exclusive.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I also noted that in that Clean Tech Center, Honda has their Honda GNs, and also that's compressed natural gas, CNG. That's what it stands for, compressed natural gas.
Correct.
So it's what fires up your gas boiler at home. It's what you cook on. It's the same stuff that fires a car, and it's about half the price to run your vehicle on that. If you have compressed natural gas. Taxis have been doing it for years. Delivery vehicles have been doing it for years. And Honda now has the Civic that has compressed natural gas on the inside. The auto show starts February the 6th at the Oregon Convention Center. How do people get tickets? How can they find out more about the show?
The easiest thing to do, PortlandAutoShow.com. We have a comprehensive overview of the entire show. You can buy tickets right there. You can see all the features, all the benefits of going to the show. And it's more than just an auto show. This is an event for the people in Portland.
It's for families, right?
It is. It doesn't matter if you're 3 or if you're 103. We have something to entertain your eyes and ears at all times.
You have just spanned the entire age group of everybody in this room.
Almost.
Almost. You're listening to Test Miles on FM News 101. We will be back with more cars. We have more to talk to you about at the Portland We will be back with more cars. We have more to talk about from the Portland International Auto Show and some of those vehicles that are coming to Portland in the next week or so. And we're actually going to test drive another car. All that and more when we return.
Testmiles.com. Vehicular entertainment.
So welcome to our in-car test drive. Today we're going to be test driving the 2014 Subaru Legacy 2.5. And joining me on this test drive is Andrew in the car.
Hello, everybody. I actually made this car the 2.5. I was the originator of the 1, and now here's the 2.5.
You have no idea what that means, do you?
I don't have any clue. That might be the fuel injection, the drive trainee, the oxygen sensor. I don't know.
It's actually the engine size. But Subaru Legacy, a lot of people may know this started out as the Outback. I've actually owned a Subaru. I bought one from Wentworth Subaru in Portland, and so I'm a fairly big Subaru fan. The thing about this car is nobody has matched Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive. They've been doing this for many years now. This is the system where they have a boxer engine, a symmetrical all-wheel drive system, and can pretty much go anywhere. I've seen the tests, I've participated in the tests, and on surfaces where the ground slips, it's wet, there's gravel, snow, or ice, it kicks everybody's backside.
What you're telling me in a roundabout way is that this is the car that you'd probably steal when the zombie apocalypse comes.
Yeah, definitely if you had to drive over zombies, this would be the car to do it in. Fuel efficient, it has the CVT transmission. That's the transmission that's not quite an automatic. It's actually, jokingly, we call it the rubber band transmission. But it's continuously variable transmission. It's a system of rod and cones. It's a system of cones and bands. It's difficult for some people to get used to because it tends to let the engine rev up quite loud. Now, apart from that, the symmetrical all-wheel drive and the CVT transmission, this car starts at $23,000 and change. Not bad, right? This actually has a special package on it, which gives it things like 18-inch wheels, aluminum pedals, some carbon fiber inlays on the inside. But you'll get a highway miles a gallon of 32 out of a full-size sedan. Now, on the inside, Subaru have had some problems. Nothing's wrong, it's just the interiors of their cars have been a little bit plain. However, the new WRX, which I recently drove, the interior is so much better than these have been in the past.
It has the screen that looks like you could touch it, but you can't because it's a small guy, but it looks touchable, like almost like someone with a disease. Like you want to hug them, but you can't.
It's actually very nice and easy to drive as well. Very responsive. Even with the CVT transmission, put your foot down, it goes. How's the room? Do you have plenty of room over there as a passenger? Stretch your legs out? Do you feel?
Yeah, no, I'm comfy cozy. I could probably switch in and out of pants if I needed to back here. It's easy. It's good. You know what this car says to me? This car says to me, look, I'm 34 years old. I make $50,000 a year. This is the car I'm going to get.
Yeah, and I think it's a good price. I really do think for a $23,000 starting price, you've got a good price. Right, we're test driving the 2014 Subaru Legacy 2.5. I'm Nick Miles, on with the show.
This is Test Miles with automotive expert Nick Miles. Vehicular entertainment. Test Miles with Nick Miles.
Well, welcome back to Test Miles. One more segment left in the show to talk about cars. In the studio with us is Andrew, Sean, Brad, and our special guest today, Jeff Fishback from the Portland Metro New Car Dealers Association. I'm Nick Miles, and you can check us out at testmiles.com. Jeff, there are some ride and drives going on at this year's show, correct?
There is, actually. We have 5 so far. We've got Toyota, Kia, Subaru, and we have a great lineup with General Motors. We have Buick, GMC, and Chevrolet.
Excellent. And you can come to the show and drive those vehicles?
You can. And actually, you know what? Can't forget the Scion. Scion's across the street in the plaza.
Okay, excellent. So if you haven't driven any of those cars and you wish to do so, and you qualify, meaning you have a current driver's license, and is that all they need?
That is all they need. Andy, I'm sorry. That doesn't make it happen
Oh, dude,
for you.
he went right for the rib cage with that one.
God, that wasn't even. There wasn't even like a sugar coated burn.
No, that was a Floyd Mayweather.
That was
Do
a
you
full-blown blast.
do you have those little cars like Toys R Us Jeeps that he can maybe drive around the floor of the show?
You know, we have a die-cast car dealer there, so you can maybe like a Hot Wheel. Maybe?
Hey, I have a legitimate Oregon identification card.
Yeah,
You
that
have a
doesn't get-
Malibu
you-
Grand Prix
You can't.
card.
I don't think he even has that. You can't drive on your ID card. Just to let you know, Andrew.
Can't I? Can I sit in it?
No, yeah, you can sit in it, but no touching anything.
But the passenger side, you're not allowed to sit in the steering wheel.
Jeff, you're giving away a car at this year's show too.
You know we are. Andy, maybe you're in luck there.
See, I can take it and then I can just learn on that, or I can just sit in the driveway and stare at it.
Okay, I'll let you take that one.
Yeah.
Yes, Nick, you're right. We are giving away a fantastic car from Mazda, the Mazda 3 SGT.
I actually have driven the Mazda 3 on multiple occasions and do say I am very fascinated by that vehicle.
There's some great technology in that vehicle, and this is actually one of the most expensive cars we've given away. It's almost $31,000.
Really? So $31,000 could be yours in the form of a Mazda 3 if you come to the Portland International Auto Show.
That is correct, and it's so easy. It literally takes less than 2 minutes to make that happen.
Perfect. Well, Jeff, thank you very much. While we have some minutes left in the show, I want to talk about a couple of things. Bradley, what have you been driving this week?
I have been driving the new Toyota Tundra, which is an interesting vehicle in a very, very competitive market because we have the Silverado that just won the Truck of the Year in Detroit. Last year, the Ram won Truck of the Year. And the F-150 is new, coming this year to the show.
Right.
It sells more than any other vehicle in the country.
And then there was all these small trucks introduced, like the Canyon, the Chevy Canyon, and the GMC. The GMC Canyon and the Chevy Colorado.
So it's got to find its way, and they changed the outlook a little bit on it. It's a little more masculine than what it's been in the past. So a guy feels a little more comfortable, feel a little more manly.
I didn't feel like the Tundra was feminine at all.
I thought the rounded looks might have softened it up a bit. So they've had a little more aggressive grille on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the grille, the front end got bigger. I will tell you a couple things about this car. Is I think it has all the right components. I'm not sure I emotionally feel it.
It's unfortunately like some of the Toyotas. They're just good. But there's not the passion.
How politically correct are we trying to be right now? Toyota, we consider you to be a good car company.
You're a very good
we
car
are not
company.
trashing you right now. We just we feel that the Tundra is a great truck, but there may be greater trucks.
Enough with the feminine lines.
And stop being so girly.
Yeah.
Tundra.
Now, Toyota did introduce a car with passion at Detroit with their concept car.
Yes.
So I would like to see
what
a
was
little
it
more
called?
passion.
The T. No, what was it called? Does anyone remember what it was called?
I have it up here. It's F1T, I believe, or
And-
FT1.
We're getting that information from testmiles.com.
Oh, look at that website plug right there. So I think that new Toyota concept was probably the best looking car of the show. There was a bunch of other concept cars at the show. The Volvo XC Coupe, which is what the new XC90 is going to look like. That actually won the concept car of the show. Also saw there the new Nissan Sports Sedan Coupe, which looked really amazing with the boomerang lights at the front and the back. I think if that's the new Maxima, which they're suggesting it might be. Jeff, do we have any concepts at this year's show?
You know, we do have a couple of concepts, but the big part we have is the new releases, the Chrysler 200. But, you know, we have the Mustang, the 2015 Mustang coming, and that's still listed as a concept/prototype.
All right.
Makes sense.
We have a website. It's called testmiles.com. and you can go there and you can look at all these fabulous cars, hear the radio show, see my Fox News segments, see my my NBC Sports stuff. You can also listen to Andrew, Sean, Brad, and Jeff over and over again. You can put it on repeat at testmiles.com. Do sign up on Facebook for all the latest Facebook posts and on the Twitters for some twattage. We like to do that, and it's all Test Miles, TESTMILES. Anyone have anything else? Did we miss anything?
I'd like to say that our radio program sounds great on playback while in the bath.
All right.
Is that with your wine and candles?
And cheese.
Talk about the tundra being feminine. All right, we'll see you next week.
This is Test Miles with automotive expert Nick Miles.